But when states are acquired in a country differing in language, usages, and laws, difficulties multiply, and great fortune, as well as address, is needed to overcome them. Change states to companies, and language, usages, and laws to culture, structure, and policies, and this applies corporate acquisitions. The majority of acquisitions fail to create value, and poor cultural alignment, integration of the two parties is often a major contributor. The temper of the multitude is fickle, and that while it is easy to persuade them of a thing, it is hard to fix them in that persuasion. The paragraph goes on to advocate using force when acquiring a new kingdom, but the underlying sentiment applies to thinking about consumer-facing businesses. Consumers are fickle and tastes change quickly. Market position can also change quickly. It's hard to get on top, but often even harder to stay there. On seizing a state, the usurper should make haste to inflict what injuries he must at a stroke, that he may not have to renew them daily, but be enabled by their discontinuance to reassure men's minds, and afterwards win them over by benefits. In other words, if you have to do something injurious, do it fast and move on to rewarding people and winning their affection. If you have to fire an employee or downsize, get it over with quickly and get back to boosting the morale of the remaining team. It is wiser to put up with the name of being miserly, which breeds ignominy, but without hate, than to be obliged, from the desire of being reckoned liberal, to incur the reproach of rapacity, which breeds hate as well as ignominy. Machiavelli says it's better for people to think you're cheap than to get caught up being overly generous. Being overly generous can often lead to ruin or cutting corners, and doing unethical things to avoid ruin. Think of all of the startups who have offered crazy employee benefits, on-site massages, yoga studios, free food, etc. It can be a great tool for attracting and retaining employees, but it can also be a great way to ramp your burn rate and run out of cash before reaching profitability, or enough commercial traction to raise the next round of funding. The readiest conjecture it can form of the character and sagacity of a prince is from seeing what sort of men he has about him. A wise leader surrounds himself with strong advisors and colleagues. When we're assessing startups, we always want to see a solid team of co-founders and advisors with experience and complementary skill sets. A leader who surrounds herself with weak people so she can feel like the smartest person in the room is destined for failure. For there is no way to guard against flattery but by letting it be seen that you take no offense in hearing the truth. But when everyone is free to tell you the truth, respect falls short. Machiavelli warns against confirmation bias and surrounding yourself with yes men hundreds of years before the coining of either term. You need to surround yourself with people who will tell you the truth, even if you won't like it, without fear of consequence. If you surround yourself with people who only tell you what you want to hear, you will make mistakes, and they may be very costly. Let those princes of ours, therefore, who, after holding them for a length of years, have lost their dominions, blame not fortune, but their own inertness, for never having reflected in tranquil times that there might come a change, and it is human nature, when the sea is calm, not to think of storms, when adversity overtook them. This is Andy Grove's Only the Paranoid Survive, but 500 years early. To be a strong leader, you need to be prepared for bad times and not expect the good times to continue on forever. This goes for investors. Bull markets don't last forever. CEOs, your market will get more competitive. Managers, your best employee may quit, etc. I think it may be the case that fortune is the mistress of one half of our actions, and yet leaves the control of the other half, or a little less, to ourselves. The prince who rests wholly on fortune is ruined when she changes. Machiavelli recognizes the important role of luck in successful outcomes. This is an important point treated brilliantly by Michael Mauboussin in the Success Equation that many of us forget. Skills are important, but luck is important too, sometimes equally so. Being aware of that and not expecting good luck to continue indefinitely is one trait of a wise leader.